Today you're doing the activity for a musical day, and there's quite a few steps that you will need to take to complete the activity. So if you need to come back to this video and maybe pause it after you learn about the first part, do the activity, listen to the next part, pause it, do the activity, that might help. Or you can listen to the whole thing, and if you forget something, you can come back to the video. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put the pictures in order on your in the slide. So there's 3 pictures from the story A Musical Day. I want to know what happened first in the story, in the middle of the story, and at the end of the story. You need to put them in order as they appeared in the story. Now, you can go back and listen to the audio. You can also go to our book, which is volume 1.2, and the story's on page 79. Or if you were paying attention, you can probably tell from the pictures the order that the story goes in. The second part you need to do is tell me the beginning of the story. In the beginning of our story, we are introduced to our characters, and we find out the setting. So, in our story, we know the characters and we know their names. We're not really concerned about mom and dad because mom and dad show up at the very first page and then they're gone. We're more concerned about the people that are in the story, like this lady, Aunt Viv. She's definitely an important character in our story, so she needs to be included in our character sentence. We also have these 2 kiddos. So Tom, and you never find out what the little girl's name is, because she's the one telling the story and she only says I. So you can say Tom and his sister or the little girl. Either one of those will work. We also have 2 other friends that join our story, and they are Glenn and Meg. And you can include them. They're not as important as Tom and the little girl and Aunt Viv, but they are characters in our story. The next part you need to do is the setting. What is the time and the place of our story? So when you look at the pictures here, you can see the time of day. It's not something that happened in the past because everybody looks like you would wear these clothes nowadays. And I don't see anything that changes that it would be in the evening because it still looks like it's daytime, right? I don't see anything that tells me what season it is. You know, the kids are wearing short sleeves. They don't have heavy coats on when they're at the door, so I don't think it's winter time. But we can have an idea of the time that this happens. We also know the place that it happens for our setting, because this happens at the Tom and little girl's house because mom and dad are leaving, Aunt Viv's coming to watch them. So we know it happens at their house. The next part is the middle of the story. And in the middle of the story, I want you to find 2 events that you think are important. Maybe the first event that you want to tell me about is that Aunt Viv comes to watch the kids. Maybe it's that Aunt Viv plays some music, or maybe it's that she hugs them. But it needs to be something at the beginning part of the story, towards the beginning. Then we need another event. And again, this one is like the middle part of the story. What happens in the middle part of the story? What do the kids do? That's right, they make some musical instruments, right? They're super excited. Great STEM project. They get to make some instruments. So that would be a good event, but you might be able to figure out something else for the middle event. And then the last event, what do they do at the end of our story? I'm not going to tell you. You need to figure that one out. What do they do at the end of the story? So that's the end of our story. But there's one more question that you're going to need to answer. And that's, how do the characters change? So let's go back to Tom and the little girl. Do you see Tom's face? He looks kind of sad. I know when I was little, my parents went away. I got kind of sad if they went on a trip, or even if they went out to dinner without me, I was kind of sad. But Aunt Viv comes. So our characters start sad at the beginning, but check out how they change. They don't look like they're some sad kiddos, do they? And when we go to the very end, how do you think the characters changed? They started out sad because the parents were leaving, but by the end, what were they like? All right, so that's your activity. It's quite a few slides. It's going to take you a little bit of time. I expect you to use the sentence starters that I've given you, and I want you to complete them as complete sentences and put a period at the end. Do your very best. You should try to spell the words if you can. Mom and Dad can help you, but a lot of you are learning our rules, and I want you to try it. You can also use the book to help you spell. Try your very best. I promise you, I will do my best to read it. I'm pretty good at decoding.